All right, going back to Francisco Lindor, who's making a nice appearance rounding the bases behind you there, Bud. This guy is one of the top 5 players in the league. Would you agree with that?
I'd say he's in that. Yeah, he's in that discussion.
He's in the discussion.
Bryce Harper and, well, I wouldn't go through the list. I'll miss somebody.
Well, better than Machado, but that's another story for another day. But the Indians can very well not. They can't get along without him. They got to get him back quick.
No, I mean, last year at this time, coming out of spring training, Brantley wasn't ready, but he was in the lineup for the home opener.
Correct.
6 games into the season, I believe. And we all know what his bat, a professional bat like that, meant to that offense through the year. Lindor's even more valuable. So you can't, given what they've lost too, and that, you know what I mean? Like, you're not just losing Lindor, you've already lost Brantley, Encarnacion, Alonso, and I know maybe Alonso's not as big of a deal. Melky Cabrera
it's a left-handed guy in the middle of the lineup.
Was effective in some ways. So this is a loss that is amplified by the fact that they don't have a lot around him in this lineup anymore.
I had a guy email me today. He says, I can't believe I'd be begging for Kipnis to get back in the lineup.
Yeah, I had that same kind of email saying I never thought I'd write this, but they really need him. And that's a bit of a cheap shot. I mean, he's a guy, he didn't have the greatest year, but he
gutted it out.
He had 20-some homers last year, 70-some RBIs. It wasn't like he fell off the map offensively. All
right, so here are the backup shortstops, Eric Stamets and Max Maroff. Maroff did get a big hit yesterday. Here you see Stamets 9 at-bats. I mean, this is way early on the sample size, but scored 1 run and struck out 5 times in his 9 at-bats. Everybody's striking out. Not so much yesterday, but in the Minnesota series, 13 guys in each game.
Yeah, 39 strikeouts, 5 runs scored in Minnesota, which was alarming all by itself. And regardless of weather, I say.
Yeah, and I know it's the weather. I know that you got young guys. You got, in Stamets' case, it's in the major leagues for the first time. But these are supposed to be guys who can get the bat, at least get the bat on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Stamets to me he seems like a John McDonald, do you think?
Maybe.
You know, he's a terrific glove guy. Yeah. You know, John wasn't the best hitter, but he also wasn't a guy who struck out a lot. He did put the bat on the ball. So, you know, give Stamets a little benefit of the doubt here and give him a chance to settle into the lineup, and hopefully he's that defensive guy.
The Maroff situation back in the game they won in Minnesota, Game 2, where he just got eaten up by that pop-up that landed 5 feet from him. Yeah. And then they have the audacity to hit a very similar pop-up with 2 outs and the bases loaded.
Yeah.
And you know what everybody's thinking, right?
Well, look how that game started yesterday. I mean, a ball hit right at the right fielder, Chicago's, and he freezes and it goes for a double. Then a pop up the left between, of course he froze. A pop up the left between the shortstop. And you know, you hate to say, oh, it's still spring training for these guys, but it looked like it, you know.
Unbelievable. And the Indians loaded, what they do, load the bases and with a lot of help and couldn't get a run across. And there's some amazing stat that if you score first, you win something like 72% of the games.
Yeah, you know what? The thing I wrote today for WKYC.com, I said on the headline, I said, like, is the hard way going to be the only way for the Indians in 2019? And people were like, no, that's just baseball. Well,
where's the home runs
wasn't baseball when you won 102 games. You won a lot of those games easily. It's certainly, you won a lot of games easily in the 90s when you were bludgeoning bad pitching. And that's what we need to see. When these guys get to the 4th and 5th starters, Les, I said I think Clevenger's underemployed as a number 4 starter. I think he's much better than that. He could be a number 2 starter for some teams. And Bieber, I think, is one of the better number 5 starters. So you're going to be able to match bad pitching with 2 good pitchers in those spots, and you're going to need to score runs and not waste those opportunities.
Do you now see, even though it's small sample size, 4 games in the books, why the Indians might have thought they could get away with trading one of their big guys, big pitchers?
I guess, but combined with what know that they've lost offensively, it just seems like anything that you take away from that starting pitching is because you don't know what you have in the bullpen yet, in my estimation. I mean, I think you have a pretty good closer, and beyond that, you're still looking for guys to fill certain roles. So
how about Edwards? Somebody wrote me today and says Edwards has 2 wins. That looks like Cy Young material right there.
Yeah, as long as you don't look at his numbers.
Yeah.